I'm going to share with you 8 tips in navigating red flags in a relationship. It's based on an article that I wrote back in the days in March with iNews, a newspaper in the UK. It's actually about 10 red flags in the article, but I just selected 8 because I thought these were the best ones. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So that's the article, and I'm going to share the link of the article in the first comment if I don't forget to do it. Very interesting article, obviously, because I wrote it. It's the idea of this article, and the reason we did this article with Jody is to really help people understand the key actions because sometimes people get stuck in relationships that are not good for them, and they are blindfolded because they're in love, which happens to everyone. And so with these very practical things and tips, you'll be able to assess whether your ex or your partner is into you or not. The first one is obsession about social media. The reason we use this one is because a lot of people are obsessed by social media, but there's a translation that's the meaning of social media. And you'll see throughout this video, we're going to discuss a lot about values. And when you see that values are clashing between two people, it's actually extremely hard to create a good, healthy relationship if you don't share the same values. So it's really about the balance and the value. Are they on social media? Are they checking their phones when they're on a date with you because they are bored? Are they, for example, taking a lot of pictures when they're on holidays? Is it because they're superficial? If you're on the same page and you like to post things on social media, on Instagram, and you like to share your holidays and you're on the same page with your ex, it doesn't matter. But if you're someone who's kind of secretive, you don't like to show off, that's not really your thing, there's a clash of value in terms of superficiality, in terms of how you perceive world, how you perceive interaction. So where is your place, in this? Do they include you when they take pictures on Instagram? Are you on their stories, or are they keeping you on the side when you're on having dinner or lunch? They're still on their phone while you're still want to interact with them? So it's very important. If it's an obsession, if it's something that they can't stop, the other thing that we'll discuss in this video is the priority. A lot of things happen in our life. We have different things. A relationship is part of it, and it's how we can assess with our partner where are their priorities. And if we are not part of their priorities, it's a sign that you should not invest in this relationship. Second thing is the irritating habits. Became quite common amongst dismissive avoidant. They will spot those irritating habits, the way you speak, the way you chew. Sometimes people complain like, I hate how they chew. The way you, put your toothbrush in their glass, or whatever. It could be really tiny things, obviously. If you snore, if you move a lot in the bed, all these kind of things. One way to address this is to balance between the alone time and quality time. You can't be annoyed with someone if you don't see that person often. You can be annoyed by something if, for example, obviously sleeping together, it's quite healthy, I think, to share the same bed. But there's tiny things in your life. If you're constantly with that person, that can sort of trigger this sort of irritating habit, and you keep on seeing those things. So with good communication, and in this kind of, this one is actually really good with humor, you can diffuse the situation. You talk about like the way he or she talks, the way. One irritating habit of my wife is that she never closes any cupboard. So when she goes in the kitchen, she will do her stuff and all the cupboards are open, like you live with the ghost, or horror movies when they open the when you are. So I would make fun of that and tell her, oh yeah, there's a ghost again in the kitchen, and she wouldn't feel like judged or attacked, and she'd be like, okay, yeah, fair enough. So there's one way to do it. They put work first, and again, it's really about value and about priority. The workaholic, it means that they neglect the relationship. A relationship is 30 hours per week on average. So if these 30 hours are spent in the office, spend checking their emails, on the phone, on video calls, with clients, traveling, it's time that they don't invest in the relationship. If this is an ongoing thing, and this is how it is, and it will never change, and you want to see your partner more, that's your right, that's your need, I would recommend you to consider breaking up with them. If it's something timely bounded, and it happens a lot, where there's a big project coming up and they have like big deadlines and they have to work super late, where sometimes there's a big promotion and you know that in 6 months they will get the promotion and things will be different. So it's really important for you to find the right balance between supporting your partner and also checking whether you're with someone who's not invested in the relationship. And by knowing whether it's timely bounded, you'll be more clear about what they want. Fourth one is a bad relationship with their family. So I'm not saying you shouldn't date someone who's not getting along with their parents, but there's something very important because it could give you some intel about what could be the future with them. Dysfunctional families can lead to insecure and disorganized attachment. And I'm not talking about your ex or your partner having had abusive parents. It could be just neglect, it could be busy, perhaps they had a bad divorce, but this would have an impact on them for sure. And so you have also to understand why are they not getting along, why your ex or your partner is not seeing his father or his mother. Is it a value clash or the result of neglect in childhood? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should not date someone who has had a difficult childhood. But be mindful that if that person had a difficult childhood, he has had therapy or someone to help you unpack those things. Because what will happen, and I see that every single day, what would happen is that people who don't address those things, who don't work on those things, who don't realize the impact on those things in their life, will have toxic relationship, will have insecure attachment style. Because unconsciously, and we all do that, we all have unconscious habits, unconscious things that we do, fears. These took form in the childhood. Some of them can be debilitating, some of them you can live with them, but I think, obviously, from a therapist's point of view, I think everyone would benefit in getting a tiny bit of therapy to understand those things. Because 90% of our thoughts are unconscious. And so part of these unconscious thoughts took place in the childhood and have repercussions today in your life, in your relationship, with your boss, with your family, with your friends. And so there's big value in understanding those things. You won't change the past, but you'll understand that because of those events in your childhood, you're doing things a little bit different. And if your childhood was difficult, if your childhood was full of neglect, abusive relationship, you have to address this, you have to unpack this so you can move forward in life. So it's very important for you to understand why there is tension with your partner, with your ex and their family. Number 5 is the attitude towards money. This is a big thing because money can take a huge place in a relationship. I know a lot of people divorce because of money issues. Here it's about the value of money. It's not about you making more than me. It's really about what does that mean for you to make money. Is it a sense of security? Because maybe when you were a little boy or little girl, you didn't have a lot of money and this is the thing. It makes you feel safe. Is it because of status? You want to have the brand new car or the bigger house in the neighborhood or stuff like that. Is it because of obligation? You have been told you have to make money, that's the way it is, and you have to work like that. When I say money, it could also be, people are more comfortable having corporate jobs. That's how they see life, and they can't really be with someone who's like entrepreneurs or freelancers. There's a clash because they don't feel safe with someone like this. Again, it's really about value. The difference in budgeting can create huge tension because money allows us to do things, to buy things, And if we don't agree on where to spend our money, if your partner is really into interior decoration and you don't care, and you'd rather go on holidays, and you can't find an agreement on that, and you don't spend the money, or you go on holidays and your wife is full of resentments because she couldn't redecorate the living room for some reason or whatever, it's very important for you to understand, and have this discussion with your partner about money, the value of money, the importance of money, the meaning of money, because it's a translation of what matters to you in life. I give you a personal example. My wife is really into traveling. I'm not so much into traveling, but I understand that. And so I know that we are low budget for traveling. I'll be more buying some food or nice stuff. And I know that I need to cut a little bit more on my going out budget if we want to go traveling, for example. But I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I'm losing things. And it's really about the value of things. Unreliable, canceling your plans because of priority shifts or because they are disorganized. It happens sometimes. I have friends like this, they're never on time. You tell them 7 p.m. at the restaurant, they show up at 7:45, but they do that with everyone, right? With your partner, with your ex, do you feel like they are doing this at work, with their friends, or just with you? It's very important, because if it's only with you, it's really a sign that they're neglecting the relationship, they're not respecting you. If this is something that is not addressed throughout the relationship, this can lead to really damaging dynamic. You're going to build up resentment, you're going to have lack, you're going to stop trusting them. It's going to be very hard for you to plan things, to discuss things with them. As soon as the trust is gone, it's actually really hard to recover. 7, they keep you secret. They don't want to tell anyone about your relationship. If they don't introduce you to their friends after 6 months, that's a red flag. That's a red flag because it could mean that they're hedging their bets. They're with you, but they're not sure. And so they're thinking, okay, if I dump her or him, no one will know. So, because I'm not sure, because I don't want to invest in this relationship, I keep that relationship just for me. This is a strong lack of commitment, a strong sign of, this is a strong sign of lack of commitment. I did it. And so this one, really be careful. Be really careful about that, especially if you're the one introducing them to their friends and stuff like that, but you don't see any reciprocity. It's really bad. A relationship is obviously about balance. What we discussed so far, it's really about values, understanding the other, being on the same page, and also invest in the same way. The priority thing is so important. Number 8, not open to try new things. It's a classic reason people break up. They, stuck in a rut. You do things you don't know, nothing changed, there's no excitement. And it's normal because the honeymoon phase is only a few months, right? When you're married for 20 years, of course, there's going to be routine. Of course, going to be day-to-day things, same house, with the same wife, the same friends, and it's normal. So it's your job to find ways to reinvent, to rekindle things, to create some, perhaps like new honeymoon. If you push for new things and you see a resistance, that's quite bad, right? Because a relationship requires both to work, both to try things. If you see that things are not going where you want to be, perhaps you're not proactive. But if your partner is proactive in suggesting things and you're not on board, you're reluctant, it's a bad sign for the relationship. It's a bad sign that your partner really wants to invest. And if you're the only one with this motivation, guess what? That's not the right thing. That's not the right person. That's not the right relationship. It's kind of a different video today, and I wanted to share this with you because I did this article and forgot to do a video about it. If you have any question, want to get in touch, you have some links in the description, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
For a long time, get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.